Okay. I have a Bernadette as an attendant. I don't see Hannah or
Oh.
Donna.
Okay, so Hannah's just she's just all right. Let's see here. Should we maybe have her log out and log in?
Oh, here we go. We've got Michelle. I've got them. Okay.
All right.
We promote them. I wonder what happened.
Well, I mean, I made the mistake of sending the wrong date, and I think that, poor Shelley was just trying to like,
Sure. Well, that's all right. That happens. We won't do it again, right?
right. Well, I was in the midst of reading and grading papers and my eyeballs were not focused. So.
That happens, right? Here we go.
So
Hi.
They're all popping in now.
all right. So
Yeah, let's not talk about grading papers.
Honey, I think Michelle is in attendance. She's on the phone.
Yeah, there we are. Okay,
There she
I think
is.
we've got everybody.
All right, so we're good to go. All right, so as the recent amendments to the open meeting law allows, the board will continue to hold meetings remotely. Adequate alternative access to the meeting is provided through the Zoom link below. The public may not physically attend this meeting, but every effort will be made to allow the public to view and listen to the meeting in real time and participate when necessary. Additionally, all votes taken by the Gloucester Human Rights Commission during this and future remote meetings will be by roll call vote. If you are calling in on a phone, you can press *9 to request to speak. If you are watching on a computer or device, there is a raised hand button that you can tap or press to request to speak. Please use either of these options during oral communications to be recognized to speak. This will be a Zoom meeting or Zoom remote meeting. Participants will need to download Zoom to their phone. Oh, I shouldn't need to read that. So anyway, so here we are. Can I have a motion to call us to order?
I make a motion to call us to order.
I second.
Okay. So let's take us in. Mayusa Alves.
Okay.
Michelle McCaffrey.
Yep.
Hannah Kimberly
Hi.
and Tony Borge. Okay, as I was saying earlier, I spoke to Jason Groh. He is not available to attend, but he did give me some feedback on points in the agenda that I will share. So now we're ready to move into the review and approval of minutes from the April 24th meeting. May I have a motion?
I motion to approve the minutes.
A second?
Okay. So any discussion, any points or questions about the minutes from last meeting?
No.
Okay, with no questions or discussions, it's time for us to vote to approve. Mayusa Alves,
Yes.
Michelle McCaffrey,
Yes.
Hannah Kimberly,
Yes.
and Tony Borge, yes. All right, so now we're on to the revisions to the Human Rights Commission, and I'm hoping, Holly, that if you can allow me to share, because I would like, as we're talking about that.
Can I just something?
Say.
We have a participant, Bernadette Miranda. She's gonna be our next Human Rights Commission member. She is sworn in today, and I want to welcome Bernadette. So tomorrow, she's gonna be voted as city councilor, and she's gonna be our next member.
Welcome, Bernadette.
Welcome.
Well,
Would you like me to bring her in so we can talk to her for a moment?
Yes,
Yep.
please.
Yes,
Hi, Bernadette.
Hi.
welcome.
We-
Oh, thank
We've been
you.
waiting for you.
That's right.
I'm
Welcome to,
almost here. One more bar to, jump, I guess, and
Yeah.
then I will be part of it.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy process that
Yeah.
you'll go through tomorrow. Not hard at all.
yeah, it's pretty pro forma and you're at the beginning of the city council agenda versus having to wait till the end. So that's really nice. It's very quick. And I think the biggest part is, when you go to the O and A and, that they can, the kind of in-depth questions that they have. But oftentimes you don't even have to, they might ask you if you want to say a few words at the city council meeting. You don't need to.
Yeah.
Once you do that, then you'll get sworn in and then you'll be ready for our June meeting, which is great. We're so excited to have you.
Woohoo!
I am very excited to join.
Thank you.
That's good.
Thank
That
you.
brings us up to 5 voting members. So, all right. And thank you this will be a good introduction for you to see how we roll. So I'd like to share the ordinance draft that I did send. I hope everybody got a copy of it that, Chris had sent in revisions, and so I can point out the particular ones. And once we vote to approve it, it will go to the mayor. And then when he approves it, it goes to the O and A, and then and then on to the city council. When I talked to Jason, he said that that when it comes to the O and A, that will be invited, I'll be invited, and anyone else who would like to participate to come in and ask some questions about that. The same thing for the city council. And he wasn't quite, but those are the steps. And of course, it'll come, we know it's just the wheels of government do move, but they don't move sometimes, at warp speed. So Holly, can I share?
You can, yes, you should have no problem.
Okay, let's see. What do I do for sharing? Do I hit
Down
something?
at down at the bottom, it should say share screen, right in the middle, participants, polls, share.
Oh, yeah,
screen.
that's right. Okay.
There you go.
Let's see here. Desktop, files. Where's my, wait here. Basic share. Okay. Can everyone see? I have this, the ordinance draft.
No, I don't see it. Hit the share, the green share button.
Someone said they could see it? No?
No.
Okay, let me just, go back again. See here. No, and I'll just point out the changes here. I don't want to end up.
Sorry.
Mm,
It's a little weird.
Yeah. Well, let's see, I'm so used to, WebEx, I'm not used to. Okay, let me just I'm trying to have this. All right, well, let me just read the points then instead of taking the time here. So, one of the changes that had is, in the policy section, what they did is they updated the points to include, I'll just read this here, to include, some of the language that hadn't been, that had been revised in the state, and the language that it reads, it intends to comply with all applicable laws regarding disability, including without limitation section 504 of the Federal Rehabilitation Act of 1973. And these are what had not been included in the previous ordinance was it requires inclusion and integration of persons with disabilities in the programs, services, and employment opportunities of organizations and agencies that receive federal money. Amendment Article 114 of the Massachusetts Constitution, which prohibits discrimination on the basis of disability under any service or program within the Commonwealth, and the regulations of the Architectural Access Board, which require access in newly built and renovated buildings. And so that was the, to ensure that had been not, so you updated that. The other updated was, remember, we had when we first started in regards to the number of members, where we had put in the request, because it, and thank you, Ms. Shea, for that, where the original number of 7 people that were serving on the Human Rights Commission, it was not a diverse body. And then what we did was vote to, to recommend that it be increased to 9. Which then when Michelle was able to join us, and of course, then progressively, we have had, members who've needed for a variety of reasons to not continue. So what it was suggested here is that we would go back to 7 members appointed to the mayor, improved by the city council. Because one of the things that we've been struggling with, of course, is to have be able to have enough members for a forum. And what this, so that's one of the changes, is changing it from 9 to 7. And then was added, because we had gone in with the high school students, the initial, what we had, and the mayor returned and asked us to include not just Gloucester High students. He wanted to have students from all grades, and those that are enrolled in homeschool or out of district. And then we also recommended that, any student, a Gloucester resident that's enrolled in an GED program. So the addition to that was also, it says, the commission may also add 2 non-voting student members appointed by the mayor and approved by the city council. A student member is defined as an individual currently enrolled in 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th grade, but not older than 22, residing in Gloucester, including those enrolled in a general education development GED program. So that was the one change. And then the final change is under purposes there, because remember, Susan had told us that on the original ordinance, that which kind of made us like an adjudicatory body, which is, that was not within our allowable, authority. And so to make those changes there, and also talked about our purposes. And so the changes under the purposes are, the commission shall actively seek to enhance equal justice, inclusivity, and human rights for all members of our community. 1, the commission serves as a resource to the city of Gloucester and the public. The commission may provide education and support on human rights, diversity, and inclusivity, with the goal of raising awareness and sensitivity to matters of human and civil rights. 2, the commission may provide the public with contact to agents of the Massachusetts Commission Against Discrimination or other appropriate state, federal, and local agencies. The commission may conduct ongoing campaigns, host free public events each year to facilitate public education on diversity, discrimination, and inclusive community building as relevant to Gloucester. And 4, the commission shall not operate as an adjudicatory body. I wanted to go back, because I think there was to me, I think, I thought that there was a point where it talked about the disability services. And I've missed that there. Because I know that that was one of our questions, is to have that it would be, oh, let's see here. I'm just reading. I thought maybe there, I know that there was a one line where included that the Disability Rights Commission would now become a subcommittee under the Human Rights Commission, because we all know there's been challenges to well, that commission has never been up and running sadly. And so that was, in our discussion that we would do that, but I'm just trying to.
Tony, we got a memorandum from Attorney Brosnahan regarding the Disability Rights Subcommittee. Do you want me to read it?
Yes, please.
Sure. This it says, this is in response to requests to amend the Gloucester Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2, Article 5, Division 10A, Section 2-515, Disability Rights Commission established. Terms to bring the ordinance into compliance with state law. General Law C-40, Section 8J, allows cities which accept the provisions of this law to establish a commission on disability and endows the commission with certain statutory duties. The city of Gloucester has not accepted this state law. Therefore, it is recommended that either Gloucester accepts the law and rewrites the ordinance to bring it in line with the law. 2, Gloucester deletes the Disability Rights Commission from its Code of Ordinances and stops having a Disability Rights Commission. Or 3, Gloucester deletes the Disability Rights Commission from its Code of Ordinances and the Human Rights Commission establishes a subcommittee on disability rights on its own. And we have opted for option 3.
Okay, I do recall that. So, I think that I'm wondering, and please help me out. I'm just thinking whether or not that, it's, since I don't see that here for us to go back and ask Chris about, that it not being included, or,
Tony, if I may, Chris's last day was last Friday.
oh,
So please refer all questions to Attorney Suzanne Egan.
okay.
Okay,
So what do you think? One thing too is that we can vote on this and then move it ahead.
Does that mean that we have to vote again when we make the edits to put in that third section?
It might, I guess that through the, have to have a conversation with Suzanne, because I get.
I don't think we should vote and then change and vote again. I think we should.
Yeah. Yeah, all right, I agree with that. How about, shall we have a motion to go back, send this back and ask Susan that this is what had been sent, and that the inclusion from her memorandum to have that included, so that we can then come back, hopefully in our June meeting, and can vote.
Sure, I make a motion to have Attorney Egan, include the Disability Rights Subcommittee into our new ordinance.
I second.
Okay, Mayusa? And let's vote to, or to approve.
Yes.
Hannah Kimberly,
Yes,
Michelle McCaffrey,
Yes.
and Tony Borge. Yes. Okay. All right, so, so it has been, voted on and approved there. Good, thank you. Yep, so I will do that. I will send it, an email to, Suzanne and I'll go back through and find on my, because I do remember the memo, so, to do there. So now in our next agenda item, oh my God, where's it? Like, oh, left here. Trying to find my agenda here. I'm like, sorry, I'm like so crazed here. It's on Indigenous Peoples' Day, and that this came about. I know that Miranda was not able to attend, and Hannah. So, but this is an outgrowth that came from the Gloucester 400 Plus and having a discussion in changing the name from, because recognizing that, Christopher Columbus was a colonizer and actually, committed genocide, and that to have instead, as there's been, of course, throughout the country, is to change Christopher Columbus Day, the name, to Indigenous Peoples' Day. And this was going to be their request to the mayor that 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 the holiday would be now known as Indigenous Peoples' Day. I did share when, in the meeting with the Gloucester 400 people, is that in recognition, yes, of Christopher Columbus, but however, that Christopher Columbus is an Italian with people's heritage, that there might be a lot of resistance, and I think that, we'd probably need to have a lot of education to do that. But, when I talked to Jason about this, is that one of his recommendations is that about flying the flag, on like the day after, because excuse me, let me go back, is that on October 8th, President Biden has declared October 11th as Indigenous Peoples' Day. Because, of course, he didn't, still has the recognized Columbus Day holiday, but there is now a recognized Indigenous Peoples' Day from the proclamation of President Biden. So Jason's recommendation would be that, that we, put the request in to Mayor Verga to have on October 11th as Indigenous Peoples' Day. So I don't, so what thoughts or comments do we all have?
So just to make sure I'm clear, the initial request was to change it completely from
Yeah.
Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples' Day, but now because the White House has given Indigenous people their own day, we want to make sure that that day is now recognized, including in addition to Columbus Day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Columbus Day is staying, but we're adding Indigenous Peoples' Day.
Yeah.
Is there a flag? You just mentioned a flag. Is there an Indigenous Peoples' Day flag?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's a tough one. I mean, we kind of have to follow the United States new law. So I would absolutely say we need to make it a point for the city to recognize and bring attention to the new October 11th Indigenous Peoples' Day holiday.
Hannah Mayusa,
I'm
your
curious.
thoughts?
I agree with Michelle.
I do as well.
Okay, so then can I have a motion that we make a request to the mayor that the city on October 11th would be Indigenous Peoples' Day, you know, and it was part of the proclamation that President Biden made on October 8th, 2021.
Was
May-
that the motion? Can I second that, or do we need to copy that to make the motion?
Tony, you can, yeah, you can make it, Tony. That's-
Okay, that's my motion.
Okay, I second that.
Okay, so let us vote. Michelle McCaffrey,
Yes.
Mayusa Alves, and Hannah Kimberly.
Yes,
All right, so we have voted, and so I will be sending an email to Mayor Verga to request that October 11th, the city would recognize Indigenous Peoples' Day.
I know that the 400 Plus has done a lot of work around like this land specifically and like who the original tribes were in Gloucester. So if we could incorporate some of that information into his proclamation of like acknowledging that day, I think that'd be really good. And it wouldn't be something that he'd have to go research, like the work's already been done.
Right, right. And I know that the Gloucester 400 has already developed a land acknowledgement, you know, statement. And I mean, that statement, instead of you know, maybe that's something, a statement, you know, and that's a general statement. It doesn't say the Gloucester 400 plus, it's a land acknowledgement statement. And we could ask you know, the mayor and in our, you know, would have to vote and approve that in our request for Indigenous Peoples' Day, but that this statement, the land acknowledgement statement, would be part of the, you know, his words.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be great.
Okay, can I have someone second that?
Can I just say something
sorry.
real quick? Sorry. So I'm just Googling Indigenous People Day, and it actually does exist the second Monday of October, which is the same day as Columbus Day. So I'm not sure where the 11th came in, but it
Oh,
looks like
that was the, okay, that was the date that President Biden made the proclamation.
so what am I? It says that there is an Indigenous People Day. And this year it's October 9th.
Okay,
So
so,
I don't know if you want to do more research, if we just want to ask for an additional day, but on my calendar, when my regular calendar, Google Calendar, Columbus Day also says Indigenous People Day. Those are set by whoever creates the calendars. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's why I was confused too,
Yeah.
Holly.
I'm
okay.
not sure if we need
I
2
was
days
like,
or
is
not. I'm
it
not
the
quite
same
sure.
day? Is there a
No.
new day? I
No.
wasn't aware of
You
that.
know, and I'm
Yeah,
sorry, maybe I made the confusion because it is, because he did proclaim it as, on the 21st as the 11th, but it sounds like that what they did was, and who knows, maybe the 11th was back in 2021.
That's what it says, a proclamation on Indigenous People Day in 2021, President Biden, and it was October 11th.
Okay,
So that must be I think it's already recognized. for the
okay,
same
so,
day.
so
Yep.
then, so we'd have to amend our approval so that it would be that we would request that on the official Indigenous Peoples' Day, which is also the second of Monday of October, which is also Christopher Columbus Day, that
Yeah.
the Indigenous Peoples' Day flag also be flown because it is a recognized holiday.
I second that.
Okay. Okay, Michelle McCaffrey,
Yes.
okay, Hannah Kimberly,
yes.
and Mayusa Alves.
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, then I will, and thank you, Holly, for that clarification so that, you know, there's no confusion over that there.
Sure.
All right, so now we're coming to the our next agenda item, and this is the Gloucester Initiative, Uniting a Caring Community. This is the work that Donna Leet and Nancy James and have done, and so would like to talk to us about this here. So so Donna and Nancy, are you ready to share your and speak?
Nancy, you're muted.
Unmute. Oh, mute. Uh-oh.
There you go. You're
Oh,
good. now.
so you heard me tell my husband not to run the water.
They
Sorry
were
about that.
voting.
And also-
Donna, you're muted. This is a strange platform for me. I'm accustomed to the microphone in the bottom. Donna, are you there? Yeah, she's on now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, and you
Okay.
also need to include your state your address.
Yes, I live at 276 Western Avenue in Gloucester. If that's helpful. I just want, I'm sorry I can't, I haven't been successful with my visual here, but anyway, I'm glad that you can hear me. I wanted to start by thanking you, Tony, as the three of us volunteers have undertaken our initiative. You've been most helpful in meeting with me and with our group several times to talk about what's going on with the Human Rights Commission, and we could talk about the goals that we share and that we hope to advance, hopefully further throughout the community. So I want to thank you, Tony, for all of your help with that. I also want to thank Michelle, who spoke with me a couple of times, and I was so impressed by the work that's going on with the Gloucester Racial Justice Team. And I was so impressed that you're very action-oriented and you have so much going on. Your most recent project in conjunction with the library, et cetera. It was just fabulous, and part of our whole experience as we interviewed people going forward to find out what is the state of affairs in Gloucester and what might we become. I also want to thank you, Holly. I've spoken with you on a few occasions, trying to check in and just checking in with what's going on. And you've been very helpful as well. And Jason Grow, who I spoke with initially when we started out, not as a Gloucester Initiative proposal, but we started out as an anti-bullying proposal. And we're still committed to those goals, but we have changed our approach as we proceeded. So I thought that was very helpful. With that, I think we should define who we are. And so I can start by talking about myself. Holly, you know me, but I don't think anybody else here on the commission knows me. I am a retired human resources director, and I've worked in the field for well over 30 years, 18 of which were in the city of Gloucester. That happened in two stints. My first stint was 1993 to 2007. Then for 9 years, I went on and worked for 3 different Commonwealth agencies in Boston, and then was recruited back to the city in 2016, where I served until I retired in 2020. And without going, I've been very privileged to be able to raise my family here in Gloucester, and have found it a wonderful place to live in. And throughout my career, I have had a commitment to justice and equity issues. And even though I'm retired from human resources, I'm hoping to still make a contribution in that effort. I should turn this over now to my colleague, Nancy James, who probably wants to introduce herself.
Thank you very much. I want to thank the Human Rights Commission for hearing us. I have a background in, my addresses. I'm currently at 48 Walden Terrace in Concord, and I have summered all my life at 47 Thatcher Road in Rockport. I have very, very deep roots, long roots in Gloucester, which I honestly consider home, but had to live where I work. And it's not easy from Cape Ann, as everyone knows. My professional background in technology and finance. I was the founder over 30 years ago of the Network for Women's Lives in Concord and have served for many years on the Human Rights Council in Concord. Donna Ruth Salinger and I were meeting over lunch and discussing the rise in violence, domestic violence, bullying, racism, anti-Semitism one afternoon last summer, and decided we wanted to do something. What could we do about it to strengthen and support the resources that are already in this wonderful city of Gloucester, already very hard at work, including all of you. So Don and Ruth, especially well connected in town, in the city, began contacting and interviewing a number of the city leaders to talk about what was needed, what was on their agenda and what they needed. We gave our report to Mayor Verga on May 2nd, and we called it the Gloucester Initiative, Uniting a Caring Community, and each of you have a copy of that report in your packet. And we're proposing an ongoing cooperative project, basically a larger coalition of people to understand and involve more youth, more of the diversity, equity, and inclusion, and also an initiative fund to support various DEI initiatives in the city. Ultimately, we want to widen the circle. It's our hope that we will host a meeting in the fall for the purpose of bringing Gloucester's community leaders together, so that this will be an initial means for them to expand their own networks, to share experiences, their strengths and their needs, meeting like-minded leaders who are all so hard at work to build a better community and uniting a caring community. So a network of support, a network of friends. And we're asking the Human Rights Commission if you will partner with us for that goal, for that initiative. And Donna, back to you.
Yeah, I just wanted to speak a little bit about Ruth Salinger, who couldn't join us tonight. And I just wanted to kind of introduce her a little bit so that you understand who we all are. Ruth is a member of the Salinger Group, and they have an office over on Three Crafts Road next to Grand Banks over on Rust Island. This is a consulting group that's dedicated to peace and justice. Ruth has been an activist in building a better world. And over her lifetime, she has met with many world leaders, including women world leaders in search of justice. She's been a friend of presidents, among other world leaders, and in particular, Jimmy and Rosalind Carter. And she was instrumental in founding the Concord Human Rights Council over 40 years ago. So she's a wonderful resource here in Gloucester and is still contributing to try to make this a better place. When we started out, just to kind of follow up on what Nancy said, we started out with an anti-bullying campaign when we first started our work back last fall, and did some research on that and did some explorations on that, and found that many people weren't that comfortable talking about it. They were pretty much united in their love for the community and making this a better place. And having heard the feedback from the people that we interviewed initially, we pivoted into a new role that we were looking at building and expanding a coalition dedicated to your goal of human rights and trying to expand the membership and leadership committed to human rights. So we did pivot away from anti-bullying, and we think that the Gloucester Initiative, as Nancy has described it, is a process of building and expanding a coalition. And it also provides a forum for leaders of the community to come together and maximize their energy towards a common goal of deciding what do we want the climate of Gloucester to be, how do we achieve that, and how do we sustain it for the next 400 years. The 400th anniversary is a wonderful opportunity for us to get a voice for human rights out there, for who we want to be, and we can reflect on human rights history, as many of the members, and Miranda Aisling has been so wonderful in giving us more background in what's happened in the last 400 years. And we can have a voice in this new TGI initiative in deciding and how we want to move forward and who we want to be as a community. And I think that human rights should be recognized as part of this 400th anniversary celebration. Thank you.
I'm just taking notes. Donna, can you tell me your address one more time, please?
Sure, it's 276 Western Avenue in Gloucester.
Great. And let's see, Nancy, 48 Walden Terrace in Concord. And what's the address at Thatcher Road?
47 Thatcher Road in Rockport.
407. Great.
Thank you.
And Ruth Salinger is 3 Crafts Road in Gloucester.
Thank you.
So does anyone have any questions for either Nancy or Donna?
I have a question. Exactly what would the partnership look like between the HRC and your group? Would it be us just kind of reiterating the things that you have? Would we be attending meetings? Would we just be kind of like a sounding board? Exactly what are you looking for in that partnership?
Well, I think in part, if I might answer first, Donna, that we would look to you to see how you would like to partner with us. I certainly, for the fall meeting that we would hope to initiate, that the imprimatur of the Human Rights Commission would be a part of the invitation to the leaders, and that we would take care of all of that and then see what happens. Donna, we're hoping you can help define that, certainly. Donna, what you have something to add for sure.
I would agree. I mean, we really respect the leadership role of the HRC on human rights initiatives. And we're recognizing the difficult time frame that you had to come into with COVID when you started your existence. So it's been tough, but we definitely would respect your leadership role depending on how much you would like to take on. One of the things that I was so impressed when I met with Tony is she told me that you're looking at your mission through the lens of education, and probably communication will fall within that mission. And it would be absolutely fabulous long-term for, HRC maybe to take on more of the communication. But if you're not in that place yet, as you're still building your membership, we're there to help. All we need to hear from you. What is it that you would like from us?
Maisa, do you have any questions?
Nope, I'm just like what I'm.
Processing. Well, I know for me personally, in terms of the conversations and being involved in those meetings and giving our 2 cents, or maybe kind of, like I said, bouncing ideas off of, and like making sure that you have a sounding board, so to speak. I think that that might be appropriate for us. I'm not speaking for the whole group, but this is just me proposing. But in terms of kind of like being more, I don't want to say like an arm of your group. I don't know if we can do that, Holly, in terms of like the connection. So one of the things with the HRC is that we have some legal stipulations on the things that we can and can't do, but in terms of supporting your group and telling people about your group and advocating for your group and being kind of someone who you can communicate with, and making sure you're hitting all of those points in terms of diversity, equity, inclusion being the things that we are focused on as well. I think that that would be a good spot for us to start. And then depending on what we can do legally and depending what we can do with our person power, I think it might evolve from there. But I don't think that at this time we can necessarily what's the word I'm looking for? It's been a long day for me. I don't know if we can commit, that's the word, commit to something really concrete right now, because you are still in the beginning phases of forming what you want to be as an organization.
Yeah, and I would like to, I think you were in the previous, discussion earlier in regards to the ordinance. And, and to reiterate what Michelle has said, of course, in one of our roles is to serve, as education and to provide, help with communication. So I think on that role, but as, with other kinds of, I think as move on, if there might, again, like what Michelle said, is one, there may be things that we can't do. And of course, you can always put the request in that, I don't want to say, oh yeah, you can't do that, but that is, all the request in. And then, if it falls within the ordinance of things that we can do, we'll, and again, I think in the, as Michelle points out, just like everyone is, the people power, but I think that, what you're talking, the whole initiative does, it does fall neatly in with, the purposes of the Human Rights Commission. And I think that in regards to the partnership, as long as it's, the understand like what we can and what we can't do. But I think in my mind, it makes a lot of sense. Because we're all, we're all heading in the, marching in that direction, and, as we have the more voices, the more people, the stronger the message becomes. It becomes a roar, and with the education along with it, then it it makes, to me, is another positive step as we work to make Gloucester a place that is welcomes and supports diversity, inclusion, and equity in everything that we do.
I also want to say, commend you ladies on doing something. I think that's one of the hardest things for people to do. You have an idea, you see something that's not right, that you want things to change, but actually getting your hands dirty and getting out there and starting something is one of the hardest things. So congratulations on doing that. And I'm happy to support any way that I can.
That's very kind of you. Thank you so much. we're heartened by what you said, and we're grateful for the opportunity to meet with you.
Well,
Likewise, and if you can invite us to your meeting in the fall, one of us will be
Yeah.
happy to attend.
Thank you.
Well,
Yes, that's a certainty.
I think since, I see this, the TGI as a process of building a coalition and expanding a coalition, maybe beyond the human service community, but even incorporating as we go members of the business community, the chamber. I know the racial justice team, Michelle, you're working, you've done some work with them. And it's also exciting, but right now, nobody knows about it. And I think the more we could expand our communication efforts, and people would be surprised how strong this potential movement is in this community. And I am convinced it's there. We're special in Gloucester because Gloucester does care. Everyone we spoke with was completely on board and caring and want to get involved. So I feel the energy is there. We just have to figure out a way to make it happen. And I thought TGI does provide a forum, starting with a breakfast meeting. Of course, we would not ever envision proceeding with a breakfast meeting without HRC as our partner. But you would be one of hopefully many partners, the school department and what they've got going in terms of diversity and equity initiatives. It's so impressive. If anything, I think the schools are maybe ahead of the rest of us in the community. They've had to pivot faster because their population and their demographics are changing faster, and they're doing it. But I think they could use some more support from the larger community. We're all in this together, and there's so many people that are out there. We started, and you've got our initial report with who we met with, and it was really such an enlightening experience to learn of the commitment and the love for this city that so many people have. So we know it's there, and we absolutely want to support the HRC in any way we can. And we don't want to, take anything away from you in any way, shape, or form. But we would like your support going forward. So that we're, yeah.
well, and I'd like to share, I attended 2 Mondays ago at the Chamber of Commerce's Miranda Aisling. She coordinated a Language Matters discussion with a number, the Open Door was there, Action, a number of other nonprofits and NGOs. And Ruth Pino was there. She's one of the tri-chairs of the 400 plus. And one of the questions she said is, how can we keep this momentum going of all what's going on, what the DEIA 400th plus committee has done? How can we keep this momentum going after all the events and come January 1st, 2024? And so what you're saying to me, Donna, is also in like what the Gloucester Racial Justice Team is doing and others, is that the momentum is going. And so we have members, in the chamber, which have been working. So there are people that have, seeing that and want to make sure it continues to go. And so her question was, how can we keep this going? Well, as we move along, like the Gloucester Initiative and other, Gloucester Racial Justice Team and other groups that, maybe this here is like to have a, this coalition will keep it going. And that's what I said to Ruth. I said, I think there are so many people now that are being active and that, you know, we're so committed to have it stop is not even, you know, it's just not gonna happen. So
Well, there's plenty of work to go around, so there's
Yeah.
more than enough
yeah,
for all of us to do if we just decide on what parts we want to focus on. So as much as we can support you and kind of spread the word, and maybe you can funnel some people our way, we can funnel some people your way. But I think in general, if we all just continue to communicate with each other,
mhm,
that is one way to consistently keep the momentum.
that's good, yeah.
Thank you,
We're
Michelle.
anxious to do that. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
So unless anyone else has any other questions, I'd like to, ask for a motion for us to, for the Human Rights Commission, to propose to the mayor that the Human Rights Commission, partner with the members of the Gloucester, Initiative, team.
I
A
think,
second. Oh, wait, go ahead, Hannah. I didn't mean to stop.
no, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
So have
Well,
we,
I actually have a question now that she interrupted me, and I can think. In terms of a partnership, should we just kind of hold on the details behind that, because we really don't know what it looks like? So could it say like we're in strong support of the Gloucester initiatives, because we don't know what the partnership looks like? Because I'm thinking as the mayor, he's gonna say like, well, what is that? Like, what does
Right.
that look like? And
Right.
we don't know that yet. So right now, can we vote to support and go to the next step and figure that out, rather than
Mhm.
I don't want to overcommit or undercommit or anything, since we really don't know. But we want to be more involved. We just don't know what that looks like yet.
mhm.
We're very
Okay.
grateful for that support. Yeah, thank you.
So that sounds like a motion.
I second that.
Yes.
Mhm. Okay, so, Mayuza,
Yes,
Michelle,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
and Tony, yes. So I'll send, an email to the mayor for us to request that, state that we, are in, you know, that we would like to be, in support of the Gloucester Initiative.
Thank you so very, very much, all of you. And I'll look forward, we all will look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Absolutely.
so
Thank
much.
you.
for all the-
Likewise. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, we have, our next, quick thing on the agenda is, the, you know, which also aligns with, the information I, so you know that we've, the mayor has, has approved our request to, participate, have a table at the, on the June 10th, celebration, of the Freemans of West Gloucester, by Wellspring, and for us to have a table. And so I know that Hannah had put together that we, an information sheet, when we were, I think it was the Brazilian Independence
Independence.
Day. And so, I thought, she sent that to me, and the, only thing that I added, let me just see if I can try to, okay, share my screen again here. So I can, put, all right, let's see here.
we're actually gonna have another Brazilian Day. It's gonna be on August 27th again, okay?
The
Okay.
27th.
Okay,
12 to 5.
all right.
Where is
um,
that?
I'm sorry?
Do you know where that will be?
It's gonna be someplace, in front of the city hall.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try to get Wall Street closed for the day this time. So I'm on a mission, get it closed.
Okay.
I'm gonna be away. I'm so sad.
You're gonna, oh.
I know.
I will be there.
Yay!
All right, I was trying to share, but I've been asked to update preferences and all that there, so I did send the information handout, and then the only thing that I added that was the information on, that about the high school students, and then just points on what one needs to do to if you're interested in the steps to apply to the to serve as a member on the Human Rights Commission. And so then I thought then we could ask the mayor if Pam Toby can look at that and maybe add some details, or whether it could be as the handout, other information, so that we would have that on hand at the table at the June 10th. So, and at that time, I know that the Gloucester Racial Justice Team has a table. The Human Rights Commission will have a table also. So I mean, I will be there. I don't know if anyone else is, like I say, Michelle will be there.
I am,
What time is the day? What,
Say it again. It's on June 10th from 10 to 2.
oh, that's hard for me this time.
Okay, well, I will be there.
thank
So
you,
may-
Tony, for being there. I'm flying out to Bodega Bay, California on that
Oh.
day.
Oh,
Well, and
Really?
also Mayor Verga will not be there. He's gonna be away, and Jason Grow will not be there because he will be away. Tony Borge will still be in Gloucester, and I think Holly
Thank
is,
you for support
in
for
Tuscany.
representing us.
and Holly, aren't you gonna be in Italy?
I'll be in
So-
Tuscany, yes.
You'll be in Tuscany.
Good for you, Holly.
Bodega
Yes.
Bay, wasn't that the place when the movie The Birds?
Yes.
Yeah, the minute that I haven't thought of that movie in so long, but
Oh my
that's
God.
right back.
That movie gave me an irrational fear of birds.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
yeah. Yeah,
It was Tippi Hedren, right? Yeah.
yeah, great.
I never liked lovebirds after that,
I know,
and I am a bird lover.
I know.
So, all right.
I've
so
never
then-
seen it, so no, I won't.
Yeah. So, well, one thing is that we can put our two tables together, Michelle, so we'll have 6 feet of space versus just, no, sorry, 12 feet, because we'll have 2 tables. I'm also going to ask Pam if there's also, because we're not the only commissioner board that needs members, and I know the city, she's planning some real direct appeal, so other information or any other information that the city would have, other informational brochures that we can have on the table.
Mhm.
So,
I just have a quick question, Tony. Have we kind of advertised these new seats for high school age students?
well,
anywhere?
we couldn't until we get, it gets officially approved as the ordinance.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
but we can talk about it. And I think once it
Okay.
becomes official, and then, figure out, how we can recruit, which I think probably wouldn't be able to start until September, because
Yeah.
the summertime, I can't, think of,
Nothing happens with students in the summer.
yeah, who wants to think about,
They
sitting
check
on-
out.
yeah, exactly. So, so by that time, the ordinance will all be approved, and then we can
Mhm.
figure out, we can brainstorm, about how we're going to do recruitment for the high school students. So, I'm going to request a motion that, we submit, the information, document, that about the Human Rights Commission, on to the mayor, and request that Pam Toby review it and, make any changes, so that we would have that on hand, for the table, at the table, for the Wellspring event, but then in future events that we've been asked to, and we get approved of to be able to sit, like, I think there's gonna be a Juneteenth celebration. There's the Brazilian Independence Day. And so now we'll have information brochures to share.
I
Is this,
second that.
I
is
see-
this something that can be added to our website that will have, I guess I'm not sure what's on the brochure. I mean, is this like a reference for people if they're looking for services, or does it?
No, it's just really an outline, and I did, I know it, everybody's so busy, they probably like, oh my God, here's another email with attachments from Tony. That it just outlines this, like who we are,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
that if you are interested, these are the steps to submit an application. There's no other information besides just who we are. And actually who we are comes out directly from the purposes from the ordinance.
Right. Didn't you have a brochure put together or some kind of a fact sheet early on that gave
that's-
people a
yeah.
place to go with issues? I'm just wondering if maybe we shouldn't have some kind of a resource on our website that says, if you need assistance with certain things, click here, or here are some phone numbers for advocates, or any kind of an issue, because we can't help them ourselves. We should
Yeah.
be providing that information to them to somehow be able to direct them in the right
Right.
direction.
Right now, I don't think, I know we've been having discussions about, and, with Suzanne, part of it, that I don't think we have anything up on our webpage yet, right?
Mhm.
And I think we're also asking, is it possible to have maybe, with links, but that is once with the ordinances that we would start creating the list of, so when somebody asks us, if they need some help with housing, we would have them go on to the link for action.
Right. Right.
So, and once we have that, I think then we can ask to update the information brochure. But that was a good point, Holly.
Good.
Any other questions about our brochure?
No, if Michelle didn't second you, I do.
Okay. All right. So Mayusa,
Yes,
Michelle,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
and Tony. Yes. The one last thing I have is that I just got an email, that there will be on May 31st at 2:30. The pride flag will be raised at City Hall, and there's, I know that, I think there's gonna be a little ceremony, because it came from Pam Toby, that I got it from somebody from the domestic abuse, committee, but he had forwarded that he had got contacted by Pam Toby about the pride flag raising, and I understand I will be there. It's, people are, it's during the day, so, unless you're retired like me, you're still, helping support the social security system. So, but I just want to let everybody know that if you can, but there will be a pride flag raising, on May 31st. And,
Can I add to that? On June 2nd at 11 o'clock is the National Gun Violence Awareness Day, with a ceremony and a reading of the city's Wear Orange proclamation. This speaks to me in a large way, as you might think that it would as a teacher. Last year, firearms became the #1 cause of death for children in our country, surpassing any other vehicle deaths or injuries. So if folks have time, of course, I will be working, but that's Friday, June 2nd at 11 o'clock,
okay.
Where?
City Hall.
Yeah, and if you can send us an email, Hannah, that will also, but yeah, no, I will be there.
Great.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for that. All right, unless, does anyone else have any thing to share? All right, Bernadette, we are really looking forward to having you on board with us come June. And our next meeting is, let's see here, and we're still meeting by Zoom. I don't know when that will ever change, sometime. June 26th is will be our meeting on June 26th at 5:30 on Zoom.
Bernadette, can you give me your email? If Bernadette is,
Yes, absolutely. It's, let's see, I think I put, it's Bates Bern, Bates, BATESBERN 70@gmail.com.
great, and I'll add you onto this as well.
Great.
Right, and and then I can, I'll make sure that, you're, when you get emails sent, that will be on there. All right, well then, unless anyone has any other things to share or ask, then I ask for a motion to end the meeting.
I make a motion to
Second.
end the meeting.
Second.
I
All
second.
right, okay, all right, so
We got a roll call out.
a roll call out. Okay, Mayusa,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
and Tony. Yes,
Holly,
sorry.
have an awesome time in Tuscany.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Have
Enjoy
one wonderful
Bodega
time.
Bay.
Thank
So
you.
excited.
Enjoy.
And Tony, I
Good
will
night,
get
everyone.
the Valerie's email information. to
Okay.
you. You can include me and her because I'll be coming back around the 22nd, but we'll
Okay.
probably want to get everything in advance, okay?
All right, great. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Night.
Bye.